What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Smart Talk, where we talk about real struggles, real stories, and entrepreneurs that made it from the ground up. Before we get started today, I want to give a huge shout out to our two main sponsors. We got Hookah Kings, the top-rated hookah lounge in New Mexico, where we pride ourselves on great customer service and a great hookah experience, and Merino Media, quality content for your business and image. Today, I got two very special guests here today. I got my boy Reeve and my boy Charlie in the house.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Chilling, man. I appreciate y'all coming out here today, man.
Appreciate you inviting us.
Yeah,
Man. I'm super glad to be here. It's nice to always sit down with friends that are young entrepreneurs as well. And if you haven't checked out Hookah Kings, like, you got to go. Like,
it's absurdly fun to go.
Honestly, the quality of people that I meet there, like, from outside of just like a normal bar, it's crazy because you actually get to sit there and talk and like actually get to know somebody.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you guys showing me love and support.
You got
for
so
my
many
business.
TVs in there.
I know, man. I appreciate y'all. But honestly, like, I love my business, but I want the spotlight to be on you guys today. Like, I want people to know, like, the inside scoop of how you guys started your business and, like, how you guys grown it to be such a flourish media company. So tell me about you guys self, man. Like,
how far back are we going here?
Well, so I've always been into movies. My dad would take me to go watch a bunch of movies every Saturday, right? It was like our thing. And I always loved the way movies inspired me and how they made me feel.
Uh-huh.
And I've always been like a technical learner. So I learned Photoshop when I was 9. And because I thought that was a movie editing software, but it wasn't. I figured I was just pictures, right? Learned Photoshop, but that gave me the core fundamental skills to be able to transfer that to video, right? So then I downloaded like Sony Vegas and other editing programs, and I would just re-edit movie trailers. And I remember one of them got like $250,000, and I was like super happy. It was I don't know if you ever seen the movie John Q with Denzel Washington.
Long
yeah,
time ago.
And his son has like a heart condition.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Really, really good movie, right? But I don't know if you remember trailers before, like the 2000s had a certain tone or aesthetic. Like they didn't get as advanced as they are now, especially, right? Like there's certain techniques in trailers that they use over and over again. Right?
We starting all the way from 5 years old?
Yeah.
That's how we're starting.
From the come up, man.
But anyway, so then learned all the different softwares: Blender, DaVinci, Premiere, Avid, Nuke, all of them, right? Mm-hmm. And then I tried to do a video a long time here, and I did like probably over 200 plus music videos for a bunch of artists, you know, like AZ, like hung out with Jay Scribe and all them for a lot of years, like Idea, like would do, right? But it was hard to make a living doing it, right? Until I met this guy, right? This guy, he had like 30 video jobs sold in 30 days. That was his whole thing, right? That's how he sold me, right?
It wasn't the 4090 and all the other stuff?
No, the 40. Yeah, he has a 4090. So if you know what that is,
Hey, don't listen to Reef, man. He's a con artist, man.
Dude, I don't ever con anybody on anything. I think in order to sell somebody something, you just have to do better than what they're already doing for themselves, regardless of like how good you are yourself. And like,
well, no, and it's obvious now, right? Like I had fire looking videos and I couldn't get a job. It was ridiculous.
Oh shit!
I couldn't figure out, but I didn't understand the business aspect of you have to. How is your video going to help somebody else? Not how cool is my video, right?
yeah,
Like
there's like a huge difference between like what actually converts versus what's just a pretty video, right? You know, like the most helpful thing for a business owner is not just like a really, really pretty video. Yeah, sure. I mean, if you're trying to just show off the environment, but is that environment actually being seen? And if it is, then I mean, yeah, that pretty video is going to help get you people in there. But if no one's watching it, then it doesn't matter anyways.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different aspects to just, other than like making the video, there's marketing, there's advertising, there's a whole lot more.
Well, yeah, and it goes a lot deeper than just making the video, right? Mm-hmm. But I think like I've found a happy place where I can still worry about doing really high quality video, but also be really worried about the final outcome of what the client wants, right? If the client wants more people in the door, like however we get there, I'm happy getting there that way. Even if it's sacrificing like video quality, right, or whatever. Like, ultimately, it's about having the client fulfill their wishes and needs.
I mean, honestly, sometimes the client just wants a shitty video, and you have to deliver a shitty video.
Yeah,
like that's what they want, and they're so headstrong on it that you can try to do better, but no matter what, what you try to do for them, they're just that's what they want.
Yeah,
so
the
it's
best
like,
It's like somebody drawing, right? Like if you've never drawn anything in your life and what your idea is of a good drawing is completely different than somebody super experienced and is like thinking about the composition and shape, language, and like values and all this stuff, right? Totally different thought process.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you kind of have to let your barber cut your hair. You gotta let your artist draw.
Yeah,
you gotta let them
professional
do their
job,
thing. You know what I mean? And I found like one thing I do every time I go into a restaurant, I'm like, I always ask the person working there, I was like, get me your favorite thing. And it's always fire. And I always try something different because the person that eats there all the time is going to know what's good.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the time. I've had that backfire for sure.
I mean, honestly, like if you pick an artist, like my tattoos, honestly, are literally like I had no idea what I wanted. I let him do everything that he wanted to.
On your body?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I picked the
those
artist
tattoos are
though.
fire.
I picked the artist. I gave him an idea and a concept, and I was like, cool. And then he did everything else. You know, like if you let an artist do their best work, but like going back, I guess, to like the original question, because we got ADHD like mad, bro. When me and Charlie
I don't even
met,
remember the original question, honestly.
I know.
Yeah, that's what,
the original question, you know, like how I met Charlie was I didn't have a whole lot of fundamental basics in terms of like knowledge, because I was teaching myself how to edit and film and get jobs all at the same time within that
That's
month.
a totally different
And it was
ball game. That's hard.
It was way different.
And you have to sacrifice somewhere. Like I was focusing on editing and videos and I couldn't get jobs, right? It's like, where do you put your time?
yeah.
You know, and that's what was so powerful about us working together is I was able to show them everything at a high level. Like film at a high level would take somebody 10, 15 years to learn.
No, it's honestly crazy. Like in the last year and a half, like working with Charlie, like I've learned DaVinci, I've learned Adobe, more fundamentally Photoshop, like every single, like 11 different languages in terms of like, because it's full on new languages every time you learn a new system.
Like if you're using like Fusion in DaVinci Resolve, it's this entire new way of, because you know how in Photoshop you have layers.
Yeah.
Well, in Fusion you have nodes, so you have to use node structures, and that's like a totally new language you have to learn.
Yeah. So you guys are a partnership for Vivid Canvas TV. How do you guys like handle like arguments, disputes? You know, because I'm sure those arise.
You know, I think we're lucky. I think we're lucky that we have the same personality type.
Honestly, like me and Charlie are very honest with one another. Like if he's doing dumb shit or if I'm doing dumb shit, we'll just say how it is. And like, you know, it's not necessarily like, it's for the betterment of both of us. Like if we're both wanting to be like selfish in the moment, or like, you know, think about how whatever, like the main goal though is like a better life for both of us that we see. So a lot of arguments get ended because we'll see the bigger picture rather than just stumbling on something small. Like
you can't get to the big picture if you're constantly worried about the small things. You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna happen. And like if you want to do great things as an entrepreneur, you have to chase the bigger dream, and you can't let the small things get in the way.
And honestly, man, like I didn't even know, like when I first met Charlie, like I met him at a 48-hour film challenge, and I genuinely, like, I met him, I had a really good feeling. Like my biggest intuition in business is knowing how somebody perceives, like on a psychological level in terms of like empathy and emotion.
Yeah, his emotional intelligence is super high, way higher than mine, honestly.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely a smart dude. You know, after just a couple conversations I have with him, he's on a high level IQ for sure.
And he's taught me a lot about emotional intelligence and what that looks like and how to read people a lot better. Like mine has increased, like hanging out with Reef, right?
Yeah, so yeah, you gotta surround yourself with people that want to see you win, that, you know, are smarter than you or have a higher IQ than you, or, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah,
and it's like,
I think the biggest thing too is like if you surround yourself with people that excel in things that you don't, you're gonna learn. If you don't try to learn, you're the idiot in that situation. But if you literally surround yourself with anyone like at a high level, like if I was to hang around you more, and which we're planning some really awesome events too, more to come. But either which way, you know, like hanging around people that are really genuinely wanting to do better for themselves allows for you to actually grow with them too. You might not learn everything that person has to offer, but you're still going to get a better quality skill set.
there's always something to learn from everybody. If it's what not to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Whenever it comes to building you guys' own like media company, it's honestly, I feel like it's such a saturated market because I feel like everyone does some type of content creation, you know, editing, videos, websites. How do you guys separate you guys selves from the competitors? You know, because there's a lot.
So we really pride ourselves in knowing the whole process, right? And anyone that works for us or with us knows the whole process, right? So like Because in film, what I've learned doing everything on my own for so long is that to create film is like a salad, right? A piece of lettuce doesn't make a salad. An olive doesn't make a salad. A tomato doesn't make a salad, but all of it makes a salad, right? And when I was a kid trying to chase that movie look, right, and figuring out like why does something look like a movie? Like you can tell a movie from a TV show, from a YouTube video, right? Just by looking at it for 2 seconds. Anybody can, right? And I always ask myself, well, what makes something look like that, right? And through a lot of learning, like it's everything, right? It's the color correction, it's the composition, it's the rule of thirds, the golden triangle, it's how you block people, it's how the camera moves, you know what I mean? It's backlighting, it's like, you know what I mean? It's everything that goes into it and makes a nice looking image. And but yeah, what were you gonna say?
So honestly, when it comes down to like the saturation, it's not, I have no problem looking at the saturation because like I was saying earlier, the only thing that you have to consistently, but like if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, I don't care if you go and try to start, like you're not my competition. I'm closing deals that like most people would never even look at with companies that are
I love the confidence, man.
Dude, I'm right now in closing with AutoNation for their worth $7.5 billion for their monthly. I'm not going to say how much it is per month, but like putting in comparison, like we have $250,000 worth of equipment and we know how to use everything to the fullest
that was
capability.
my point, right? I got off topic, but that was my point is we know how to use everything. Well, we know how to utilize film and all the tools at every level, right? That's what separates us, because like you can buy everything we have, right? You can buy all the tools we have, but you don't know how to use all the tools you have. That takes a long time and a lifetime of learning. And we hire and strategically partner with people that can learn at a quick rate, that are constantly self-improving, right? Like the people that work for us can learn all these new tools and all the new tools that are coming out daily. Like there's literally hundreds of tools that come out daily. Like it's insane. And we know that other people aren't willing to put in that work to learn all these tools and stay up to date on everything. And that's how we can separate ourselves.
It's in part too, like understanding the client's needs, like
right.
When it comes down to like actually selling or like closing on a deal, the biggest importance is actually hearing what the client wants and what their actual overall needs are, and developing this story. A lot of people, you can have all of the picture, you can have all of the quality, you can have all of the other things, but if you don't have the story of what the client is wanting to actually like see unfold, it doesn't matter what you're selling. It holds less value, because the largest thing that I've realized, even before I had all of the ability to go and, you know, have the best image and everything that Charlie taught me, was that the story is the most important part behind it. Yeah. So in the branding of that company's image, when I go through everything with a person, like you've heard me pitch to you, I really do take the time to see what the overall need of the business is, where I can help. I'm not trying to, you know, harm or hinder a business. If I'm working in a community like Albuquerque, and there are some businesses that are worth a astronomical amount, and there are some businesses, what I do for different pricing and everything else is completely dependent on how much I can actually help leverage that person's ability, because I've gotten a lot of leads from businesses that I would have had no idea, just from something like a gift, you know, and being willing to just show like, hey, here's something that I can do. If you don't like it or you don't think it works, don't pay me. If you do, then tip me. It's weird. Like and sometimes they would pay me more for the job than I would get in that scenario.
Well, yeah, it's about helping people out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, so when it comes to, because obviously you guys want to grow your business and stuff like that, right? So whenever you guys get a job done, you know, you get paid out, like how do you guys separate the money? Like do you guys, you know, kind of go to like 50-50, then throw a chunk back into like, you know, back into your guys' business? Or how do you guys like divide that? Because obviously you guys got to eat, but you guys got to still put money back into the business to keep it growing, you know?
Right. No, yeah, 1000%. So a lot of our division of, you know, assets and everything else, I'll put a lot in terms of, I have no problem really like even living paycheck to paycheck.
No,
if
this
it comes
guy
down to it.
invests in the business.
But I look at it because if worst comes to worst, I can sell something. Like I
Right.
can always get money back out of what I'm buying, and it's gonna allow me to leverage what I'm making more. So if I was to go and say, okay, cool, like I'm gonna put $1,000 into the stock market, do I think that $1,000 will net me as much return as this item that I'm getting? If I make 13% in this, $130, well, I can go and spend $1,000 on equipment and then make an extra $1,000 per job. You know, it's just like, well, that's automatically 100%. So I look at investment in a lot different terms of most people's mindset. Whereas, you know, I have my home, I have my car, I have everything that I want, I have my own home gym. Like, there's nothing that I could want to
40,
buy.
90.
Yeah, like there's nothing that I could want to buy necessarily that, like, outside of just making sure that we get our daily bread, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, and then we split our money financially differently. And how we do our business with people that work with us is, instead of doing a, you know, direct hourly payout, we do percentage of jobs. So if we book $100,000 job and there's only 5 of us that do it, we always take 25% of the house. If I got the lead, it's 15%, or somebody else that's getting a percentage. And then whoever's working on that job is getting a percentage rather than just an hourly work. Because I found in the market, the highest quality of knowledge is, you know, not somebody that's making $10, $15 in a video marketing asset. It's them being able to make equal amounts as an ownership level, because then you're going to have people take real pride in their work. They're going to want to learn more, and they're going to want to do better always. So that's one way that I would say, like,
Yeah, 100%. It's like, and if you pay your people well, like that will come back to your business tenfold, right? And it's like,
Yeah, if you scratch their back, they scratch your
yeah,
back.
100%.
You know?
It's like when
1000%.
we're paying when we're paying somebody, or when we hire somebody, we really expect them to do as good a job as we would do, or because we want to be innovators in the space, right? And in order to innovate, you have to get to a really high level and then supersede it, right? And so we want to be at that innovation level, right? And we can't necessarily have innovators on the team if they don't feel like what they're getting paid directly what they're working for, right? Like, how are you expecting somebody to innovate without paying them what they're worth to innovate? You know what I mean?
Yeah, when it comes to any business you want to start up, like, a lot of people don't understand is, like, you know, it's a lot of capital you gotta have saved up, you know, and to obviously you guys have a extensive equipment list. Like, you guys are really young. Like, how'd you guys save up money to buy $250K worth of equipment? Because that's
Well, we didn't like
started with 30 grand.
we started with 30. I had like nothing. I did a lot of shit on some shit.
Charlie had his brain. I knew how to make money. Like, that was my main thing. I mean, working other jobs, you know, like being a barback, doing things that were higher hourly earning, investing in what I wanted overall. I mean, I can't go to the bank and get a loan, but at the end of the day, you know, when you start with where you're at and you realize with what you can do, you can still make more money, get your portfolio going, do whatever it takes in order to actually get there. But I mean, how I started, dude, was honestly kind of funny. Was I didn't even want to hold a camera. I was doing OnlyFans management for girls, and we had like 8 models that we were
I didn't
managing.
even know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
we were doing OnlyFans management for.
Hey, you're in the content with them too, or
No. I was just managing it, and we would take a percentage of their earnings. But it was kind of funny because I hired gay guys off of Tinder to do all the talking, so people were getting catfish, and we were taking a percentage of that. And yeah. So it was kind
a
of
little
funny.
pyramid scheme over here.
But no. Okay, no, they were making like $2,000 to $3,000 a week, whatever, like doing their own thing. But what I realized was, like, we were paying like close to $2,000 to $3,000 a week in just photographers. So I was like, well, why don't I just buy a camera? Like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
So then I picked up a camera, and then I had to figure out how to start learning it. And then I fell in love a lot more with, you know, like the camera in terms of
film's
business and, you know, everything else. I got really over like the OF marketplace and everything else. It was just too much managing girls that are that high maintenance, honestly, was the hardest part. But that's where everything started, honestly, was just wanting to be able to see where creativity can go and see how much can be made within that space.
Yeah.
And then he kind of blew up my brain. And because I thought, like, you know, if I just had the nicest equipment, I was that person that, like, didn't know how to use the equipment to the full extent.
No, there's so much to learn. It's crazy.
I know,
No,
man.
yeah,
I see your
it's-
guys' cameras, like, so many buttons and shit to press. I'm like, but I don't even want to touch it, man. I feel like I'm gonna like destroy it or something. But yeah, whenever it comes to like making content, you know, I'm sure there's people that hate on you guys, like, you know, low key
sure,
to
I
your
guess.
like to your face. Like, how do you guys handle that people like hate on your company, hate on you guys
I don't
individually?
care at all.
You can ask my ex,
I'm
bro.
pretty.
Like, I don't care. And then when it comes down to all the hate I receive, like anybody that truly knows me, like I go out of my way for any single person that is wanting help, regardless. Whatever I can do in the community or try to help. If somebody wants to try to hate on me, they really don't know me, and that's fine. Like I don't mind it. But I mean,
if you're genuinely not doing wrong, it's hard to hate on people that think you are, right?
I think if you just hold yourself to a higher set of moral standards.
We talk more shit to each other than anybody could possibly.
Oh, dude.
Like it's not, you know.
on the daily, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, when it comes to like people, because I guarantee you, like the same to you as well, like with being young and everything else, like somebody's just gonna see with what you've worked for and think that you were given everything and everything else.
Yeah,
Like they're not
or,
gonna
it's
ask
daddy's
like,
money or fucking you.
they're not gonna ask like, hey, I know you have a felony and you had to go and get this and this and this and this. Like, how hard was that for you? Like, it was almost impossible. I can't get a bank loan. I can't, you know, like I have either two options. I can't go to school. Doesn't matter if I get a degree. So I can be an entrepreneur, or I can literally be working in bar industry for the rest of my life, making medium income. You know, like when you're given a set of choices and you want to actually like push forward of what you're able to accomplish, don't be a hater of yourself is my biggest advice, because everybody else can say a million different things. But if you are also reiterating that same language inside of your head, no matter how much you are willing to succeed on your own, nothing will matter.
Yeah,
So-
it's literally you can consume yourself. You
Yeah.
know?
No, you have to really truly believe that you're gonna do big things. You have to shoot high, aim high. Because if you don't aim high, you won't even get a little bit lower than where you're aiming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're limiting. You cannot limit yourself in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I know you guys really love your business and take a lot of pride in it, and you guys want to keep it growing. But obviously, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Like, what are some cons you guys feel like there is in what you guys do as far as
I
making
mean, we don't
content,
really
media?
see our family as much as we'd like to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I work 115 hours a week,
Yeah, like I feel
like
bad
every
sometimes,
single
for
week,
sure.
you know? So like my average hourly is like 90 to 115 hours a week plus.
That's insane.
So I've been doing this since I was 16 years old. You know, it's nothing new to me, whether I was in school, working another day job or this or that. Like I've been grinding since I was 16, living on my own. And regardless, like I have found that when I show up to be happy and just genuinely like show up to make others happy, I don't feel like I'm working. I could be, you know, literally taking care of grandmas, you know, as a certified nursing aide, literally wiping shit off of a human that is not cared for, being just as happy holding a camera, because my mindset is the same. If I go and I say I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing because I'm making a difference, but if I go there and I say, fuck, I hate my life, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, I just fill my head with negativity, no matter how much I love my job, I'll still hate it.
Yeah, because there's constant negative things happening as an entrepreneur, constant, right? And so you can't look at them as negative things. You'd go crazy, you know, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you would absolutely go crazy. So you have to kind of see the big picture. And really, it's more about not us doing well, but seeing other companies do well because of us.
Yeah,
know what I
it's
mean?
kind of crazy, like honestly, because being able to help other companies do better in like the micro ecosystem that Albuquerque is, allows other businesses to hire more people, to put more people to work and give them better, higher paying jobs. Also helps create a better environment. Like doing the best of what I can do helps my community in a lot of ways that most people won't even think about. And that's where I look at is in terms of like the deeper meaning. But like the hardest thing I would say in terms of like video promotion, marketing and everything else, I mean, it's still, you're an entrepreneur, so it's job to job to job. It's not like somebody comes in and they have like a drink that they're buying or a sandwich that's like fast moving. Because usually with what we're doing, it's higher ticket price items. So somebody really has to want to see the value, because typically they've been struggling themselves. And usually when people are struggling in Albuquerque, it's harder for them to see a justification to spend a few $1,000s. But what they're not realizing is that if you look at McDonald's, Nike, all of these other places, like they're spending billions and billions of dollars getting their brand out, their product and everything else. Like that's what really we specialize in is actually the return of income on the investment for a lot of the products that we're helping, because we can do website, we can do logos, we can do photos, we can do videos, we can do CGI renderings, we can do literally anything in the media space. That's why when it's kind of funny, because people ask me like, what are you able to do for me? I'm like, anything. And they're like, what the fuck does that mean?
you
Like,
told me that multiple
like
times.
anything.
You
We can do anything. Your brain, put it on paper, let me know, we can do anything. You want to do events, we're in the event space, we're working with Revel, Electric Playhouse, and the new Oasis Event Center that's coming up. We're working with Decon and doing these. We're going to be working with you a lot more.
We're gonna be throwing the hip hop awards next year.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, and that's the same message to anybody that's starting, you know, like if you tell yourself that you can do anything, you will one day be able to do anything that you set your mind to. Mm-hmm. I know that for a fact, because I don't know about the smartest living proof of it. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I'm living proof of it. Like,
If somebody wanted to start like a media company like you guys, right? Like what kind of advice would you guys give them?
it depends on where they're starting, honestly, like,
Right.
and who that person is, because media is such a broad spectrum. You know, like there's the visual arts, where Charlie had a really, really good foundation in. There was the marketing aspects, which I had a really good foundation in. But if you kind of continue in both spaces and you can figure out, my best advice that I could say, and Charlie's might be a little different, but my best advice is film is not done in the highest quality alone.
No, it's literally impossible. And I think anything of noteworthy quality is done by multiple people,
Yeah.
right? Like multiple, like even if we're talking about AI, right? Some of the hardest problems are solved by not just one AI, but multiple. Or some of the best products are produced not just by one, but by multiple, right? Like it's compounding.
I mean, honestly, if you ever go to a movie, like just stay for the credits and see how many
Right.
people are a part of making that
Oh yeah,
image.
it's pages, bro.
You know, I
Pages
mean,
and
like my
pages.
best advice necessarily is learn how to build trusting, powerful relationships. And film and media and marketing and advertising will be easy, because once you get to the level where we're at currently, you'll see that there's a lot of games that are played at the highest level, especially when it comes to music promotion, especially when it
lot.
comes to TV promotion, billboards. Like there's so many different avenues within this field. No matter how you look at it, if you're just willing to go and make friendships and be a really good person, it doesn't necessarily matter sometimes like how well you can hold a camera, because you can help another person that can hold a camera better. Like Charlie infinitely better when I first started. Now I'd say we're on the same level in terms of
This
that,
guy
you know?
thinks
It's
that.
okay,
This
it's
guy
okay.
really thinks that.
It's fine.
But he's not.
Let's talk about the topic of trust, because I know there's a lot of trust in your industry, because like, you know, sometimes you won't take a deposit and you do, you know, certain, like a music video, and they can't come through with the funds, you know, or because I've had buddies that, you know,
Yeah.
they do content creation, and like they've talked about like, you know, like the person that they had them hire to do a certain like media like job, like they take too long to fund the job, or
Right.
they end up bailing out. Like how does that
Yeah.
make you feel? Does that guys
Well,
like scare you?
No, we just through a lot of business experience can pretty much tell, you know, if a client is a yes, a maybe, we might have to help them out, a no. You know what I mean? I think that just comes through a lot of experience, and we do take a lot of risk and and we know what we're getting ourselves into with that risk, but ultimately, you never want to shut down an avenue for an opportunity too
Yeah.
early. Like,
I would also say too, like the biggest thing for us, like we take deposits 90% of the time. Majority of the work, if I'm going to do something for free, I'm going to do it for free. I'm not going to ask for
Right.
anything in return. And if they want to give me something in the end, cool. If they
and
don't,
we'll let them
it's
know,
fine.
like, no, we're not
Like,
gonna.
That for me is more rewarding, because in the end, they might not be able to effectively have your understanding right then, but if that one video shows my value, because the thing that I've learned being in this space in Albuquerque, where there's a lot of shitty people out there that ruin what we do, because they'll promise a video and then they'll take payment and then they won't deliver the video, or and then that business owner has an experience of marketing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh well, you're just gonna fuck me over.
Yeah,
That's what this is. And I'm like, okay, well, no, we're a legitimate company. Like, you could sue me and I would have to fucking pay for it. Like we have
for it and shit like
we have general liability insurance of coverage of up to $2 million. I have theft insurance. I pay wages. I pay taxes. I have everything that a legitimate company does. We're a marketing agency. We have 12 people that we can contract out to. We can do any size of job. We can go anywhere in the United States. So when it comes down to who are you picking to do your marketing videos, like, you pay for what you get.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? So like when I go and I'm talking to people and it's like, hey, look, this is what we do. If you have to do a cancellation and you have to cancel less than 2 weeks and we're already pre-budget planning, I have to put people there. Because for a really large set, if I have to go and I have to get 100 people there and then all of a sudden you go and cancel, well, I've already paid them to stop what they're doing and show up.
Yeah.
So you are going to literally give me a deposit knowing that if you cancel, that's on you.
Yeah.
But if you give me 2 weeks before, that's our, like, we have strict rules because in the industry of like film in the highest level, and Charlie can say too, like, when you have to put that much together for some of the shoots, if somebody on the business side is like, oh, well, I don't want to pay you or whatever, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I have 100 plus, extras or whatever, that you're doing. But I would say that's probably the hardest thing, is literally people's past experiences with people that haven't been as truthful.
And it depends where you are.
Yeah.
If we're in Las Vegas selling a job, or if we're in Oregon, it's different over there. Mm-hmm. People understand the value of it a little bit more, and it's a lot easier. Like, oh yeah, we have $100,000 budget. What do you need?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're trying to get this done fast and efficiently and move on to the next campaign.
Yeah.
It's not like, well, is this gonna work? Like, no, they know it's gonna work. Like, they do it all the time. That's why they devote a huge amount of money to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, like what Charlie was saying too, like, I have more problems with lower budgets than I do with really 100%. High budgets. Like, people at a really high level, like, how I talk to a company worth a few billion versus how I talk to even a multi-million-dollar company versus how I talk to a business, profiting sub 7 figures. They're still profitable. It's completely different. Totally. I have way more of a hard time with a company that is of, between that 7-figure mark, because they have to be so careful with their money in their head. Whereas a company that is $1 billion company, a lot of times they're just like, I don't even care like about the contract. Just give me a W-9, tell me what you're pitching. Let me take that up to the higher up, because it's always somebody else approving it at a corporate level. Yeah. So, when it comes down to everything, like, if I can provide a lot of value and I can help them give a really good plan on what their core ask is, no matter what I'm giving for them in the end, it's going to have a return of value. So then I'm going to keep getting booked. The biggest thing is just developing a good relationship and having it on a contractual basis to where you can keep providing and adding value and helping somebody grow. So.
Man, that's great, man. I know you guys want to keep branding and keep growing your business, and I know you guys want to do some big things in the future. Like, what do you guys have planned in mind to keep escalating your business? Do you guys want to stay local? You guys want to eventually move out of the state? Like, what's kind of like the future goals you guys got for your guys' company?
Oh, dude,
there's so many. So we're really trying to get into the event space right now, right?
Yeah.
And we're doing that really well. We're working with Decon, shout out Riot Entertainment, and we're trying to bring a different vibe here to the city. A lot of the money right now on all the event promotion stuff is going outside of the state. And so we want to keep that here in the state. We want to provide better, higher quality jobs to people here in the state and grow our team of people, which I think we're doing very well. I mean, and just work with other businesses and new entrepreneurs that want to see a difference in the business culture here in Albuquerque. Because there was, everything here is like 5 to 10 years behind. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the way business is done in a lot of other states is totally different. And so we're really trying to change that. And I think we are. We're meeting a lot of really good people like you that want to try new things, that want to get out there, that want to. It's really the try new things, right? That is the pivotal key there. And a lot of younger business entrepreneurs are more willing to try new things. Like some of the older people, old heads and stuff, they just do the same thing over and over and over. And literally we live in a completely different world than 10 years ago. And, the older generation's not used to seeing things change for decades at a time. right? But with how like technological progress happens, change happens a lot faster now, right? And so seeing everyone develop new ideologies of change at a faster rate is really,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of the things, my biggest goals and aspirations in Albuquerque is to rechange the entire way Albuquerque's seen. Honestly, like, the hilarious part is, like, my dreams are sometimes, like, people think I'm crazy. Well, it takes a really crazy person to do a lot of things, to change a lot of things. Ultimately, like, we're putting on the world's largest water balloon fight, hopefully here within this next year or two. And, you know, I want a world record for water balloons and hot air balloons. Like, I want to rebrand Albuquerque from this, you know, like, drug forsaken, you know, all this crime and everything else, and bring the community together in a way that actually is meaningful. You know, a lot of the event space, a lot of these kids, they don't have anything fun to do.
Yeah, they
So-
don't. Other
Yeah,
than
there's
doing
like, think
drugs
about this.
and
There's like
Yeah.
no
getting to
18
riffraff.
plus anything here.
Yeah. So,
Right. And so the kids that get in trouble the most, right, are in that
Age group,
range.
yeah.
Like they're trying to become men, or they're trying to show off to certain people or whatever. And there's literally nothing for them to do except go to a house party or create their own parties.
yeah.
You know, it's like Decon was saying, like, lack of entertainment will destroy a civilization.
I mean, if you think back to like Roman
good quote.
Empire and
Right,
Greece
like
and
the
everything else,
Colosseum
like if
and-
you were to close down the Colosseum, like people are rioting, bro.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're
look what
burning
happened
shit.
during
They don't
COVID.
care.
Look at all the riots that happened during COVID.
Yeah, and I mean, like that's the biggest thing though too is like if we can, as a community, actually provide an entertainment industry, you know, with hookah lounges, with everything else, and like actually get people to talk again. Like COVID hit America so hard, and it was so easy to see like where we're still recovering from it. Like I know so many awkward people. I'm still awkward, but like
No, you're not awkward, man. You're cool as
but no, honestly, like being able to reshape a community and how it's seen while I hold the camera, you know, I literally get to do that with everything of where we're starting and going out. So like we're looking at property right now. Charlie's dad's currently looking to invest for a large facility for us. I'm right now looking at a couple different production vans to be completely mobile for everything and throw $250,000 worth of equipment in there. Don't fucking steal my shit. It's all insured. Fuck you. But
AI cameras.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, but anyways, no, honestly though, if people want to be a part of the change and show up for your community, like that's the biggest and weirdest thing to me in Albuquerque is everyone wants to hate and to shit on it, but then no one wants to show up for their friend that's an artist that's going and performing and putting their all out
Yeah,
there. You know,
that's
it's like
great.
it's a
That's a
weird
good point, yeah.
it's a weird thing how you're going to be like, oh, well, you know, I want the industry to change. And like, you know how many music professionals just don't come here? They literally route around the entire state to not come here.
Weren't they trying to charge Post Malone an absurd amount of
Just
money? Just
yeah,
to come
like
here?
there's a lot of stuff that's come down. But I always look at like if you want to be a facilitator of change, all right, then work every fucking day on making that change a reality. And then one day, no matter how hard and how crazy that change is, you'll see it happen. You know, so like my biggest goal is to see this community change and put Albuquerque on a map, because a lot of people don't realize like New Mexico has a 30% tax deduction for large businesses. Like if somebody goes and they pay me, you know, $1 million, 30% means that they get to keep $300,000 of that as a tax write-off for their business. So a company that's in $1 billion mindset that is making hundreds upon hundreds of millions per quarter, they look at a tax write-off as they can leverage and make more money. And if they're already getting a service that is so much more beneficial than what they can get in LA or anything else, that's why I look at the quality of what we do here and I try to make it worth that much more. Because the biggest thing that has been branded in Albuquerque is that, oh, we have to bring people from different states
horrible.
here
It's
to
horrible.
take our jobs.
Yeah.
So that's the entire initiative of what we've started and what we're doing is literally re-changing that entire game so that we can put money back into our community. Like if I get to control where I'm getting a job, where I'm spending money, it's not going to be out in LA. Like I have family that lives there, but I'm not going to go and travel just to spend my money there. I'm like, I'm going to help people here because that's who I see smiling or frowning on the daily. So
Yeah, as a young entrepreneur, you know, I love it when people like, you know, compliment me, tell me like I'm doing a great job, like I'm doing great things for the community because I am a small business owner. So
Yeah.
I wanna give you guys that same praise. You know, I'm honestly like really proud of you guys and your guys' company and what you guys have
Yeah,
achieved.
dude.
Like you guys are hard
We're
workers.
proud of you, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
man.
proud of you, man. Like,
so
It's nice
I
seeing
expect
you. Every time I pass, I'm like, there he is working.
no,
he is.
honestly, like
Yeah.
for those that don't know Shadi, like I literally, it's so crazy to me too because I feel like kind of a hypocrite too on a certain level too because even shout out Nico, he's not here, but anyways, he was telling me about how cool like Hookah Kings was and everything else, and I never had enough time to go out and support my community in other ways. So one of the things that I've been doing more of because I feel like if I call myself out on something, then I can go and change something. Is I'll go to another like local business that I haven't been before.
I've been doing that a lot.
And I'll just go and see what their vibe's about, what they're doing, and whether I network or market there or whatever, just enjoy what my experience. Like going out and supporting the community is like one of the biggest things that like I kind of have seen as
Well,
helpful.
you have to know the community in order to grow with the community.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's one thing that we're really trying to change here is we want the businesses to work together more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Economies usually grow; they don't get smaller. So usually there's more money for everyone to be made, right? And that's one thing that a lot of the more unsuccessful businesses that we run into are the ones that aren't willing to collaborate as much.
Yeah.
They're ones that are like, well, I see you as competition, so we're just not going to work together. I'm going to do my own thing. And they don't grow their network like that, right? They don't do new things, right? So we really adopt the whole, like, if there's another media production agency, we'd rather work with them than against them, right? Because then every company can benefit through working together.
Yeah.
Like, you can build a huge conglomerate and make a lot of money. Like, look at Apple. They're huge, right? And they subcontract hundreds of companies. Or Netflix, right? They subcontract hundreds of companies. So it's about working together as a conglomerate rather than separate and trying to get the breadcrumbs. You know what I mean? It's about carrying over the huge piece of pie like an ant, a bunch of ants. You know what I mean?
I hope anyone watching this podcast, they get really inspired by you guys' story and like get motivated to grow their business, whether it's in the media or whatever they're doing. You guys are young entrepreneurs. You guys are inspiration for the Albuquerque community and any young the younger generation in general. I really appreciate you guys coming on here and like
Thank you.
telling you guys your story.
Man.
It's a very inspirational, to me and to other people. Before we end today's podcast, again, I want to give a huge shout out again to our two main sponsors. We got Hookah Kings and Merino Media, and I'll see you guys next week on the Smart Talk.
There you go.